There is an animal in the ocean that has no natural predators. It hunts great white sharks for sport. It lives in tight family groups for up to 90 years, and recently it started sinking boats off the coast of Spain and Portugal. But here is the strangest part of all. Not a single human being has ever been harmed in any of these incidents. In 2024 alone, these creatures rammed, bit, and sank multiple vessels in the Strait of Gibraltar. Then in September 2025, two more boats went down on the very same day near Lisbon. So what are they really doing out there? Are they angry? Are they playing? Are they teaching their young something we do not yet understand? And if they truly wanted to, could they sink every ship that crosses their path? The answer is going to change the way you see the ocean forever. Before we go any further, please take a quick second to smash that like button. What you are about to hear about the orca is going to blow your mind, because the very first shocking truth is this: the killer whale is not actually a whale at all. The orca, scientifically known as Orcinus orca, is the largest member of the dolphin family. That is right. Everything you thought you knew starts with a lie built right into the name. Even the name killer whale came from European fishermen centuries ago who watched these creatures hunting down massive whales in coordinated packs. They called them whale killers, and somewhere along the way, when the phrase was translated into English, the words got flipped, and we ended up with killer whale. But make no mistake, this is the world's largest dolphin, and it is the most dangerous predator the ocean has ever produced. Adult males can reach up to 32 feet long and weigh as much as 22,000 pounds. Females are slightly smaller, topping out around 28 feet and 16,000 pounds. Their teeth alone are 4 inches long, capable of crushing bone like a wet branch. And their iconic black and white coloring is not just for show. It is a form of natural camouflage called countershading that breaks up their outline so prey cannot see them coming from above or below. The male's dorsal fin can stand 6 feet tall, slicing through the surface like a black sail. And that silhouette alone is enough to clear an entire beach of seals in seconds. And here is something almost no one knows. There are all-white orcas out there. The first one, spotted off the coast of Russia in 2010, was nicknamed Iceberg. Scientists still are not sure if it is a rare genetic trait or a sign of inbreeding in isolated populations. But that is not even the craziest part. Orcas live in every single ocean on Earth, making them the most widely distributed mammal on the planet besides humans. You can find them in the freezing waters of the Arctic, gliding past Antarctic icebergs, and cruising through tropical seas near the equator. They prefer colder coastal waters, usually hunting at depths of 20 to 60 meters, but they have been recorded diving as deep as 300 meters in search of food. And food is where things get truly terrifying. Orcas are apex predators, the absolute top of the food chain, and they eat more than 140 different species of prey. Fish, seals, sea lions, penguins, sea turtles, sharks, dolphins, and yes, even other whales. They have been documented killing the blue whale, the largest animal that has ever existed on planet Earth. Let that sink in for a moment. Orcas are the only predator on the planet that regularly kills animals bigger than themselves. An adult orca eats around 300 pounds of food every single day. That is the weight of a full-grown NFL lineman, consumed in 24 hours. But it is not just what they eat that shocks scientists. It is how they hunt. Orcas are known as the wolves of the sea because they hunt in coordinated packs, using strategies passed down from one generation to the next. When seals hide on floating chunks of ice, orcas will swim in perfect formation side by side, creating a massive wave that sweeps the seal right off the ice and straight into the jaws of a waiting pod member. In Argentina, there are orcas who intentionally beach themselves on the shore to snatch sea lion pups right off the sand before wiggling back into the waves. They use echolocation, sending out clicks that bounce off objects and return with detailed information about size, shape, distance, and even what is inside a prey animal's body. Their hunting strategies are so sophisticated that human computer scientists have actually studied orcapod behavior to build artificial intelligence algorithms. Think about that for a second. Our most advanced technology is being modeled after a creature that has been perfecting its craft for millions of years. And if you think that is impressive, wait until you hear about their brains. An orca's brain is 5 times larger than a human brain. 5 times. And it is not just bigger. It is folded and wrinkled in the same complex way ours is, which gives it massive processing power. But here's where it gets truly mind-blowing. Orcas have a brain region called the paralimbic lobe that is far more developed than the one in our own heads. This region is responsible for integrating emotions with complex thought. Inside this area, scientists have found something called von Economo neurons, also known as spindle neurons. In humans and great apes, these neurons are linked to empathy, intuition, self-awareness, and deep social bonding. Orcas have them too, and in some ways they may have more of them, more densely packed than we do. In other words, orcas may feel emotions as deeply as we do, possibly even more so. They recognize themselves in mirrors. They develop individual personalities, and each orca is born with its own signature whistle, a unique sound pattern that functions exactly like a name. Their mothers teach them this whistle in their first year of life, and they use it for the rest of their lives to identify themselves to their pod. Different pods even have their own dialects, specific calls and vocal patterns that are learned socially, not genetically. That means orcas have culture. They have language. They have family traditions passed down through generations. Now let me ask you something, and I really want you to drop your answer in the comments below. If orcas are this intelligent, this emotional, and this self-aware, do you think we should still be keeping them in tanks at marine parks? I genuinely want to hear what you think, because the story of orcas in captivity is one of the saddest chapters in human history. Wild orcas live incredibly long lives. Female orcas in the wild routinely live 50 to 80 years, and the legendary matriarch known as Granny, or J2, was estimated to be as old as 105 years when she disappeared in 2016. Males average around 30 years but can live 60 or 70 years in the wild. But in captivity, orcas rarely make it past 30. Most die in their teens and 20s. And then there was Tilikum, the wild-caught orca featured in the famous documentary Blackfish. Tilikum was captured when he was just 2 years old and spent 34 years living in a small concrete tank at SeaWorld Orlando. During his time in captivity, he was involved in the deaths of 3 people. When he finally died in 2017, he had never seen the open ocean again. The Blackfish documentary changed public opinion forever, and it revealed something we should have known all along. These animals are not meant to live in boxes. They are meant to roam oceans. Now here's a fact that will stop you in your tracks. Despite being one of the deadliest predators in the ocean, there has never been a single documented case of a wild orca killing a human being, ever. Think about that. A creature that can take down a blue whale, that can flip a great white shark upside down and drown it, that can coordinate attacks across miles of open ocean, has never killed a person in the wild. That tells you something profound about their intelligence and their self-control. Which brings us back to the mystery we started with, the boat-sinking orcas. Beginning in 2020, a group of orcas off the coast of Spain, Portugal, and Morocco started doing something that had never been recorded before. They began ramming sailboats and attacking the rudders. Since then, more than 673 incidents have been documented by the International Whaling Commission. The behavior has been traced to about 15 individual orcas, and it is spreading between pods like a trend. On July 26, 2024, orcas sank a British sailing yacht called Bonamy William in the Strait of Gibraltar. All 3 people on board were safely rescued. Then on September 13, 2025, 2 separate boats were attacked on the exact same day. A tourist yacht near Lisbon was struck repeatedly and sank, with all 5 people on board rescued. Just miles away, another boat was damaged shortly after. So what is really going on out there? Some scientists believe it is pure play, a cultural fad among young orcas who discovered that pushing rudders makes boats spin in circles, and they think it is fun. Naomi Rose, a senior marine biologist, put it perfectly. She said if the orcas wanted to sink the boats, they absolutely would. They could sink 600 boats if they felt like it. The fact that they are not killing anyone proves these are not attacks. They are games. Other researchers believe the young orcas are actually practicing their hunting skills, training themselves on moving objects. Either way, one thing is crystal clear. These are some of the most intelligent wild animals on Earth, and they are making conscious choices about how they interact with us. Speaking of intelligence, in 2025, scientists witnessed something that had never been seen before in the history of orca research. An orca in the Salish Sea was observed tearing off long strands of bull kelp and rolling them around its own body, apparently using the plant as a tool for grooming or social bonding. Researchers named the behavior allokelping, and it marked the first time an orca had ever been documented using a tool. With every passing year, these animals rewrite the rules of what we thought non-human intelligence could even look like. And if you are loving this journey so far, please do me one small favor. Share this video with someone who needs to hear these facts. You have no idea how much it helps this channel grow. Now let us talk about family, because this is where orcas will absolutely break your heart. Orcas live in tight-knit family groups called pods, led by the oldest female, the matriarch. These pods can have anywhere from 3 to 50 members, and the bonds between them are some of the strongest in the entire animal kingdom. Young orcas stay with their mothers for their entire lives, not just until they grow up, their entire lives. And here's something incredible. Female orcas are one of only a handful of species on Earth that go through menopause. Humans, pilot whales, beluga whales, and orcas. That is the entire club. Around the age of 40, female orcas stop reproducing, but they can live for another 40 or 50 years after that. Why? Because the grandmother becomes the pod's memory bank. She remembers where the salmon run during droughts. She knows which bays to avoid during storms. She leads the family through the hardest times. Research has shown that pods with living grandmother orcas survive food shortages dramatically better than pods without them. In 2018, A southern resident orca named Tahlequah, or J35, gave birth to a calf that died shortly after. What she did next moved the entire world to tears. She carried her dead baby's body on top of her head for 17 straight days, swimming over 1,000 miles through the Pacific Ocean, refusing to let go. Scientists called it her tour of grief. It was one of the clearest demonstrations of animal emotion ever recorded, and it became a global symbol of the urgent need to protect these creatures. Because orcas are in trouble, the southern resident population off the Pacific coast of the United States and Canada is classified as endangered, largely because their main food source, Chinook salmon, has collapsed. Noise pollution from ships disrupts their echolocation. Chemical pollution poisons their blubber. And every grandmother orca we lose takes generations of wisdom with her. Across human history, indigenous peoples of the Pacific Northwest have understood what science is only now confirming. The Haida regard orcas as the most powerful beings in the ocean. The Tlingit see them as guardians of the sea and protectors of humans. The Lummi call them Kwelol Meken, which means our relations under the waves. They are considered family. And maybe they always have been. So the next time someone tells you orcas are just animals, remember this. They have names for each other. They speak in dialects. They mourn their dead. They teach their children. They play games with humans instead of killing them. They live in families that last a century, and they rule every ocean on the planet without ever needing to prove it. They are not just the kings of the ocean. They are something far more rare. They are a mirror showing us what intelligence, family, and power can look like when they exist in perfect harmony with the sea. So tell me honestly in the comments, after everything you just heard, do you believe these boat incidents are revenge, play, or something we have not even figured out yet? I want to read every single answer. If this video moved you, please hit that like button. Subscribe to Professor Lion for more incredible animal stories and stay tuned, because in our next video we are diving into the world of another legendary ocean predator. And trust me, you will not want to miss it. Until then, take care, stay curious, and remember, the wild is always wild.